Assalamu alaikum. In this video we will cover the topic of aplastic anemia. Aplastic anemia is actually an autoimmune disease, and in this disease there is failure of the bone marrow to produce adequate number of circulating blood cells. So there is peripheral pancytopenia, meaning that there is not only anemia. Aplastic anemia is actually a misnomer. There is not only anemia, but there is also decrease in the number of WBCs in the peripheral blood and thrombocytes in the peripheral blood. So there is anemia as well as thrombocytopenia and leukopenia. Now this is actually a bone marrow house. This is a diagram which is showing bone marrow house, and in the bone marrow house this is the hematopoietic stem cell. Now this hematopoietic stem cell gives rise to two cell lineages. Number one, we have the lymphoid stem cell, and then we have the myeloid stem cell. Lymphoid stem cell gives rise to T lymphocytes, B lymphocytes, and natural killer cells. This myeloid stem cell is responsible for the formation of all other cells of the blood lineage. Number one, we have the formation of red blood cells or erythrocytes, then we have the formation of platelets, then we have basophils, neutrophils, monocytes, and eosinophils. Now what happens in aplastic anemia? Actually in aplastic anemia there is destruction of this myeloid stem cell. This myeloid stem cell is destroyed, so there is no formation of all these cells, and person suffers from pancytopenia. Now what is the pathogenesis of this aplastic anemia? Now this is a myeloid stem cell. This myeloid stem cell can be destroyed by a variety of environmental insults. For example, there may be some viruses or some drugs or some ultraviolet radiations which can cause damage to this myeloid stem cell. Now when there is damage to the myeloid stem cell, then this damage can take place in two ways. Number one, there is decrease in the proliferative ability or proliferative capacity of this myeloid stem cell, as a result of which there is decrease in the number of cells which are formed from this myeloid stem cell. So there is bone marrow hypoplasia or bone marrow aplasia. This is one condition. In other condition, in the myeloid stem cells a gene is present which is known as GPI gene. In the second condition, what happens that this GPI gene which is present in the myeloid stem cell is altered or mutated. It is mutated in such a way that it produces some antigens or some proteins which are expressed on the surface of this myeloid stem cell. Here we can see that these antigens are expressed on the surface of this myeloid stem cell by GPI gene. These antigens are known as new antigens, and in response to these antigens our bone marrow house start producing T lymphocytes. These T lymphocytes come and they release interferon gamma and tumor necrosis factor. This interferon gamma and tumor necrosis factor cause destruction of the myeloid stem cell, and it leads to bone marrow hypoplasia or aplasia. So this is all about the pathogenesis of aplastic anemia. Now what are the causes of aplastic anemia? There are mainly two causes of aplastic anemia. Number one, we have inherited causes of aplastic anemia, and then we have the acquired causes. Now first of all we will discuss inherited causes. Inherited causes are mainly two. Number one, we have Fanconi syndrome, and number two, we have the telomerase deficiency. Okay, what happens in Fanconi syndrome? In Fanconi syndrome we have to remember three things. Number one, if a person is suffering from Fanconi syndrome, then there is hypoproliferative myeloid stem cell. So in Fanconi syndrome, number one, we have hypoproliferative myeloid stem cell. Number two, we have defect in the DNA repair genes, and number three, we have hypoplasia of the bone marrow, hypoplasia of the kidney, and hypoplasia of the spleen. And hypoplasia of the bone marrow especially occur in the thumb bone and in the radius. So these 3 points should be kept in mind for remembering the Fanconi syndrome. Now let's revise Fanconi syndrome. That what happens in Fanconi syndrome? Actually in Fanconi syndrome, number one, we have hyperproliferation of the myeloid stem cell. Number two, we have defect in the DNA repair genes, and number three, there is hypoplasia of the kidney, hypoplasia of the spleen, and hypoplasia of the bone marrow. So one inherited cause of the aplastic anemia is Fanconi syndrome. Number two, we have telomerase deficiency. Whenever there is telomerase deficiency in any cell, then there is decrease in the multiplication capacity of that cell, and the cell dies earlier. So these are two inherited causes of aplastic anemia. Now, what are the acquired causes of aplastic anemia? Number one, we have idiopathic causes, and the most important idiopathic cause is immunosuppression. So, there is immune mediated destruction of the myeloid stem cell. So, this is the idiopathic cause. Then we have chemical agents. Chemical agents can cause destruction of the myeloid stem cell in two ways. Number one, we have dose related myelosuppression, and number two, we have idiosyncratic myelosuppression. Dose related myelosuppression is predictable and it is reversible. So what are the causative agents? What are the chemical agents which are responsible for causing the dose related myelosuppression? We have we can make a mnemonic here: AABCI. AABCI. A for alkylating agents, then A and antimetabolites, then B for benzene, then C for chloramphenicol, and I for inorganic arsenicals. Then we have the chemical agents which are responsible for idiosyncratic damage to the myeloid stem cell. In case of idiosyncratic damage, the dose required is very small, and this damage is non-predictable and non-reversible. Okay, the agents which are responsible for causing the idiosyncratic damage can be remembered by a mnemonic: PCO, MCPG. Okay, for P we have phenylbutazone, for C we have chloramphenicol, for O we have organic arsenicals, then for M we have methyl phenyl ethyl hydantoin, for C we have carbamazepine, for P we have penicillamine, and for G we have gold salts. Next we have the physical agents. Physical agents include ultraviolet radiations. Then we have viral infections including hepatitis viruses A, B, C, D, and E. Then we have the cytomegalovirus, Epstein-Barr virus, and varicella zoster virus. So these are all the causes which are responsible for causing the aplastic anemia. Now, what is the morphology of aplastic anemia? What is the bone marrow picture of aplastic anemia? When we look at the bone marrow in case of aplastic anemia, then we can see that the bone marrow is hypocellular. There is decrease in the number of cells in the bone marrow, and the fatty cells or lipid cells in the bone marrow are very large in number. These are the fat cells. They are very large in number in the bone marrow, and in between these fat cells, some plasma cells and lymphocytes are present, which can be demonstrated here, and some fibrous tissue is present. So this is the bone marrow picture of a person who is suffering from aplastic anemia. Now, what are the clinical features of aplastic anemia? Aplastic anemia can occur at any age, or it is common both in males and females. Okay, the clinical features depend upon either a person is suffering from anemia, leukopenia, and thrombocytopenia. So there are certain signs and symptoms of anemia including pallor, weakness, dyspnea. Then due to thrombocytopenia there is petechiae and ecchymosis. Then due to neutropenia there are repeated and frequent infections. One point should be kept in mind that in case of aplastic anemia there is decrease in the number of peripheral blood cells, but there is no increased destruction of cells. So as there is no increased destruction or no increased turnover of cells, so there is no splenomegaly in aplastic anemia. This is a very important feature of aplastic anemia, that there is no splenomegaly, and it differentiates aplastic anemia from other types of anemias in which splenomegaly is taking place. So this is all about aplastic anemia. We are left with the treatment of aplastic anemia. So what is the treatment of aplastic anemia? If aplastic anemia is present in young children or young adults, then we can give bone marrow transplant. Bone marrow transplant is the treatment of choice in young people, and it provides 5-year survival in more than 75% of the cases. However, if aplastic anemia is present in older adults, then we give injection of ATG. ATG means anti-thymocyte globulins, and we also give cyclosporine. So this is the treatment of aplastic anemia. Here we end with aplastic anemia. Aplastic anemia is finished. Next we will discuss some terms. Number one, we have pure red cell aplasia. Actually, pure red cell aplasia is a condition which is related with aplastic anemia. But in pure red cell aplasia, as the name indicates, that only red blood cells are affected. So in the bone marrow, erythrocyte progenitor cells are affected, and there is decreased number of red blood cells in the peripheral blood. This pure red cell aplasia can be associated with a number of diseases. For example, it may be present in a person who is suffering from thymoma, or it may be present in a person who is suffering from lymphocytic leukemia, or it may be due to some drugs, or due to some autoimmune disorders, or due to parvovirus infection. So if a person is suffering from thymoma and he is having pure red cell aplasia, so if there is resection of the thymoma and if thymoma is treated, then this red cell aplasia can also be treated. Moreover, this red cell aplasia can be treated by giving immunosuppression. Immunosuppressive therapy is also effective for the treatment of pure red cell aplasia. So this is all about pure red cell aplasia. Next, we will discuss that what are the other conditions which lead to myelosuppression or bone marrow suppression. There are many conditions other than aplastic anemia which can cause myelosuppression. For example, if a person is suffering from some cancer, there may be a breast tumor, or there may be a tumor in the lungs, or there may be some prostate tumor, and secondaries are formed in the bone marrow. So space occupying lesions are formed in the bone marrow, and these space occupying lesions can lead to myelosuppression. Number 2, if a person is suffering from some granulomatous disease, for example TB, then from the granuloma there is increased production of interferon gamma and tumor necrosis factor. And as we have discussed earlier, these interferon gamma and tumor necrosis factor can cause myelosuppression. Next, a person may suffer from myelofibrosis. Myelofibrosis is actually a condition in which megakaryocytes produce a lot of growth factors, especially platelet-derived growth factor. This platelet-derived growth factor activates the fibroblasts, and there is fibrosis of the bone marrow. So there is failure of the bone marrow, and there is splenomegaly because hematopoiesis start taking place in the spleen. So we can say that myelosuppression can also take place in a condition called myelofibrosis. Red blood cells which are formed in myelofibrosis are of irregular shape. They are mostly teardrop-like red blood cells. So we can say that in case of myelofibrosis, we have teardrop-like poikilocytosis. Then there is another other condition which can lead to myelosuppression, and this condition is liver failure. If there is some damage to the liver, like due to some infection, due to some cirrhosis, or due to some toxins, then liver releases a lot of cytokines, and these cytokines are responsible for suppression of the bone marrow. So there is pancytopenia. Moreover, when there is chronic liver disease, then in the membranes of red blood cells, phospholipids and cholesterol start to accumulate, and red blood cells become larger than normal. They become macrocytes, and their mean corpuscular volume is greater than 100 femtoliter. So we can see that in a chronic liver disease, a person can suffer from macrocytosis. Moreover, when there is chronic liver disease, then this chronic liver disease also leads to iron deficiency anemia and folic acid deficiency. Next, we have chronic renal failure. Chronic renal failure can also lead to somehow myelosuppression. Actually, when there is renal failure, then toxic substances are retained in the body and they cannot be removed from the body, and these toxic substances can cause myelosuppression. Moreover, when there is damage to the kidneys, then there is decrease in the production of erythropoietin, so there is decrease in the production of RBCs. Then there is increased hemolysis, or there is increased breakdown of red blood cells because of presence of certain toxic materials in the blood, and these toxic materials, especially uric acid or uremia, can cause iron deficiency. So this is all about aplastic anemia or pure red cell anemia, and then we have discussed that what are the other conditions that can lead to myelosuppression. Thank you.